Hello and welcome back. Oh my god, I feel horrible because I realized I didn't even fucking post when I told y'all I would post for my special. Oh my god, I feel like an asshole. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for that buzzing. But I'm sorry that I didn't post when I told you I would post. There's just been a lot happening. I figured out stuff that I didn't want to, a lot. But I'm posting today, like, oh my god, I'm sorry for the buzzing. People are texting me. There's been a lot happening, but I'm posting like a week from fucking when I told you I would post. Oh my god. School starts up tomorrow, so I thought I'd post it today. When not summer break, when winter break comes and like Thanksgiving break, I will definitely be on top of it. I've just been putting it off. I have a real problem with putting stuff like this off and everything, but I love doing it, so I'm gonna keep it coming as long as I can, or want, really. But yeah, as you can tell, it's a Jeff X listener. I don't have a title for it. I don't know if this is gonna be part 1 to a series. It probably will, most likely, if I want it to be. We'll figure it out. But yeah. The art is from Treeby Draws sometimes. Or occasionally. It's not sometimes anymore. Well, that's their Treeby Draws occasionally is their TikTok at, and Treeby Draws sometimes is their Instagram, and I think their Twitter as well. I'll put them in the description of this video if you want to, copy that and everything, because I love their art. I swear I'm the #1 glazer. But I've been yapping for 2 minutes. I'm gonna get into the video. I forgot to mention, if you hear any music, like actual music, it's because you know why if you've watched my other videos, and if you don't, it's because I don't like hearing my voice. People like hearing my voice. I don't. I hate it. But yeah, let's just get into the video. Like I said, like fucking 30 seconds ago. I mean freaking 30 seconds ago. I should probably put a disclaimer. There might be cussing or something. I don't know, I cuss a lot. You'll find out. So, it's been, actually, hold on. So, about a week ago, you went to a forest. Just for fun. You didn't have anybody with you, and it was getting pretty late, but you like the woods and has always wanted to go to one during the night for fun. But once you got to those woods, it didn't seem quite right. When you would walk through those woods, anytime you would just be walking, in the corner of your eye, you'd swear you'd see something. A tall figure, no face, maybe a suit, you couldn't tell, but you knew you saw something. But you just played it off as your mind playing tricks on you. And while you were walking, you saw pages, or really a page, before you wanted to get out of there. It said something along the lines of, "Leave me alone," with a weird drawn figure on it. As soon as you saw that, you wanted to get away from it as fast as possible. So, you took the way you remembered and got to your house. But like I said, it's been a week since then, and you swore that you keep seeing that figure, and it's been messing with you ever since. And you're tired of it. You're tired of it. Really tired of it. So, one night, you go back to those woods, not expecting to find anything, nor expecting to see anything like you did. But you saw a page. You thought it was the same one, but as you walked closer to it, it wasn't. It was another page that said, "Don't look away, or it takes you." You stepped back a couple of steps, looking at the page, and were frightened, honestly. As you stepped back and stood there for a bit, something out of the corner of your eye swifted past. You quickly turned to see if you could catch the person, but there's nothing there. Maybe it was an animal or something, you said to yourself. With that, you again ran off. You didn't want anything to do with that, nor did you want it to be a person. That night, you laid in bed, like always, but something felt off. Something felt like it was watching you. You just thought it was nothing because you were just spooked from earlier. But it wouldn't go away. It was about midnight, and you still weren't asleep. You went to go to the kitchen to get a glass of water and maybe a snack because you couldn't sleep. As you were pouring the glass of water, you swore you saw something looking at you through a window. The window in front of your sink. But, again, you didn't think much of it. As you were finished pouring your drink, or getting your drink, you chugged it down pretty fast. You put the dish back into the sink, and as you were about to put your head up from putting it into the sink, you thought you saw something looking at you again from that same window. This time you didn't play it off as something. You thought maybe there is something there. You open the blinds and yet you see nothing. So you just walk back to your room, trying to sleep again. You feel like something is watching you. You lay on your back for a couple of seconds looking at your ceiling when you see something off the corner of your eye. Some eyes, you thought, but you didn't know for sure. You said, or you didn't say anything, sorry. You looked over and eyes were piercing at you, piercing through your soul. You gasped, looking at it, realizing that your window was open. You wanted to quickly close it, but before you could do that, he stopped you. You didn't know who he was at the time. You looked at him, frightened, scared. Because when you saw his face, you didn't know what to think of it. He looked at you, dead in the eyes, not breaking contact, not blinking, not anything. In fact, you noticed how he didn't blink for a good minute. You just stood there, both of you. Then he finally broke the silence. You know it's not nice to stare at people, right? I mean, I can't help it. I burned out my eyelids. But I know you still have yours intact. Now why don't you move so I can come inside, huh? You seem a little scared. What? You don't like how I look? I don't know why. I mean, my face is beautiful. At least I think so. My parents didn't. But, you know, they're dead now. It's fine, though. Now, come on. Move a little. I want to see what you have there. What? You're not gonna let me in? 'Cause I'm a stranger. Oh, come on. I won't hurt you. Or will I? You'll just have to find out for yourself, won't you? Oh, you're no fun. Come on. It's not even that bad. You're a loser. You are. He stopped talking because he realized that he was talking to you. Usually he doesn't do, you know, small talk because he's him. But for some odd reason for you, he talked. He had a conversation with you. Instead of maybe cutting your throat or crawling through your window and stabbing you. He actually just talked. It was weird for him to do that. I don't think he's ever done that before. Maybe unless it was with a different person, maybe Ben, but he didn't really like making even, you know, the smallest conversation with Ben. But for you, he wanted to. It was weird. Can we stop this small talk? I don't like it. I don't like small talk at all. I don't know why I even did it with you in the first place. Either let me in or else I'll force myself in, you hear me? Come on, just let me in. Fine then. Your choice. Like Jeff does, he, you know, just barges in. You know, fall back because he kind of just barged in and you were close to the window and you know what I mean. And you're just staring at him, dumbfounded, looking at all his burns, the eyes, the mouth. The mouth was the real thing that made you kind of disgusted, but it was cool at the same time. You didn't know how to feel about it, to be honest. You didn't know if you liked it or hated it, or both. I'm going to voice you guys for this, so yeah. What are you doing here? I can't. Wait a minute. Your hoodie. It has blood on it. Is that a knife in your hand too? Are you gonna kill me? Well, yes, that was my plan. I guess good on taking context clues, or whatever. No, I don't know if I want to. What do you mean by that? Well, I wasn't really sent here to kill you, although I want to. I wasn't here to do that. Then what were you here for? I'm guessing you've seen pages in woods near here, and or see a figure that you can't quite put your finger on, and possibly have heard static randomly. Thought so. Well, that comes from a guy I know. You might have heard of him, maybe, I don't know. You don't seem like the type to watch the news. His name's Slenderman. He's interesting. Now, either you're gonna come with me easily, or I'm gonna have to do this the hard way. And by hard way, I mean knock you out. Yeah, no, I'm not hesitant of doing such things. Nor if you're a woman or whatever, why would I care? Killed my mother, for God's sake. What? Oh, come on, it's not that bad. Killed many worse people. Many. Not the point. The point is that are you coming with me the easy way, or are you gonna have me knock you out? Alright, whatever you pick, darling. Dumb. You obviously didn't pick the easy way, and obviously got knocked out. Why would you pick that? Anyways, so he kind of just tosses you over his shoulder when you're, knocked out. While you're knocked out, he's like whispering to himself and thinking and blah blah blah, and finally you get to the mansion. It's like 1 a.m. by now, because like I said, it was like 12 earlier. It's like 1 a.m. It's like 1 a.m. Okay. And Jeff's like, obviously there's some people gonna be awake and blah blah blah, like eyeless, or both probably Laughing Jack and Laughing Jill, just because why not? But some of them would be asleep. But Jeff tries his best, trying not to get everybody's attention, and is trying to find Slender like a normal person would, but yeah, anyways. And you slowly start waking up. And at first, as you're waking up, you see the ground and you see that you're not standing or sleeping, or you're laying down, stuff like that. And you like freak out, and Jeff looks at you like, what the fuck? And Ben, who was sitting on the couch, not giving a care in the world what's happening around him, hears this little screech. And Ben is like, whoa. What are you doing? And Jeff just gives Ben the hardest death stare I think would happen. I don't know. It's my story, man. Anyways. And you're just kind of like looking at Ben, and he's like looking at you, kind of ignoring Jeff because he's Ben. And you're just like, what the fuck? Where am I? And then you realize that Jeff did tell you literally like a couple minutes ago before you got knocked out, that he was gonna take you like, I don't know, some place, blah blah blah. And you're like, whoa, so I'm here. And just like, yeah, I hate this place, to be honest. And you're like, why? Does it seem that bad? And he's like, well, I have to deal with that. And I have to deal with another crazy bitch. And you're like, what? And he's like, you'll meet her soon. I hate her. I hate two of the women here. I hate everybody, but I hate two more than the others. And obviously you're just kind of like on his shoulder still. Realizing this, you kind of just say, hey, can you like put me down? And he's like, fine, whatever. And he puts you down, and you're looking around, right, as you notice this tall figure that you remember from the woods. And you're like freaking out because you're like, whoa, it doesn't have a face. Why doesn't it have a face? And Jeff is just kind of like looking at Cinnamon like, yeah, like, got it. Got it. And you're like, I'm not an it. And he's like, I don't care. And he starts to walk off when Slenderman's like, where are you going? And Jeff is like, I thought I was done. And Slenderman's like, no, first of all. Second of all, you have to get everybody into the living room. And Jeff is like, why? And Slenderman's like, well, first of all, they have to meet listener. And you're taken back by this because how does this thing, this tall humanoid being, know your name? And you just instantly look at Slenderman and he's like, yeah, I know your name, not a big deal. I know a lot more about you. And you're like, what? And he just doesn't go in further with that. He just ignores you and, like, you know, says you to just sit down somewhere. And you're like, okay. A couple of minutes go by, and finally Jeff has everybody in the living room, and Cinnamon is like, okay, listen here, come over here. Come on, gang. And you're like, alright. And you're just looking around. And I didn't mention this earlier because why not? I love adding little plot points. A week before you went to the woods, the calming thing you wanted to happen is because you accidentally might have killed one of your bullies, but you know, totally accidental. And yeah, nobody else knew but you, and everybody thought, you know, it was just it was just something that happened, wasn't a big deal. A lot of other things, you know. Yeah. Sorry. My stepdad was telling me or needing me to, you know, talk to him for a minute. He was about to leave for work and stuff like that, you know. One thing that did happen is when you were looking at everybody, you noticed how everybody looked oddly weird. You know, there's this girl that you noticed that looked very much like Jeff. And you were like, whoa, is that like his girlfriend or something? And they just start introducing themselves to you, blah, blah, blah. And you start introducing yourself. You're like, hello, my name is YN, or listener, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, so, you're obviously here because you did something or other, and you're confused by that because, you know, you think they don't know anything or really anything about what has happened. And you're like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, if Slender Man obviously brought you here, you must have done something. And you're like, what? No. And Slenderman's like, you don't have to hide it from them, dude. And you're like, I haven't done anything though. But everybody was just kind of like, whatever. You'll open up one of these days. Anyways, back to when they were introducing themselves, because I realized I was going to add something and I never did, and I don't feel like redoing that whole scene. So, as they were introducing themselves to you, it gets to Nina, the one that looks a lot like Jeff that you thought of. And she's like introducing herself, and you can see in the corner of your eye Jeff is annoyed. And as she's introducing herself, you can tell how she's kind of cocky and very rude. But, you know, you're like, oh, whatever. And her voice kind of annoys you too. You're like, ugh, it's so annoying. And a little bit later, after Eyeless introduces himself, X-Virus, Toby, you know, them, it gets to Jane. You can also tell how Jeff is annoyed with her as well. And you're wondering why, because she seems like such a nice person. At least more nice than, Nina. But, yeah. I'm gonna be honest, guys, it is almost at the 30-minute mark. And that's long. I usually start out my part ones like that, and then they get progressively shorter as my parts go on. But I just wanted to cover quite a bit in part one and stuff. But, yeah, I think this is a good way to leave it off. Again, from the beginning of the story, I said I'd add the person who made the art for today's cover in the description of this video, because I love their art and I feel like some of y'all like their art too. I don't know, man. But yeah, I hope you all had a wonderful time listening, and come back for part 2. That might be like, I wouldn't say it's gonna happen, not the Wednesday that's tomorrow, but like the next Wednesday. But to be honest, I really can't promise, and I wish I could, but like, I hate breaking my promises. I feel like I've done it a lot lately. But yeah, when I post part 2, it probably won't be their art, just because they don't really do creepypasta art. They do a lot of Sally Face art. That's why I use them a lot in my Sally Face videos. But, yeah, if you want a different character, let me know. Like from Creepypasta, Sally Face. Those are kind of the only two I could possibly do, but like any character from any of them, really. Except for like Offender Man. If you're going to ask for Offender Man, don't do so. I'm not doing him. Don't ever request that. Please don't. But I could literally do anybody. I could literally do Toby if y'all wanted. I list them. But yeah. Hope to see y'all whenever I post next. Bye!